Hello everybody and welcome to a new video. We got a new guest over here. We're interviewing our guy Tappi, the developer from Critical Ops. I'll ask him to introduce himself. So hello Tappi, tell him
Yeah,
about yourself.
thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm Tappi, originally from Finland. Currently, I'm actually living in Spain, and I'm on my early 30s. And besides the obvious gaming industry, I like to improve my skills on my free time in skateboarding, Spanish language, piano, singing, and video editing.
That's really nice and lovely to hear. All right. We would like to know something we would like to know what your profession is, your education, and also your knowledge. And maybe if you have like any tips for people who want to join the gaming industry and work in that industry.
Sure. This is going to be a bit of a longer answer. You're
Take your time.
prepared, so yeah. So first of all, my most recent job title is Esports and Player Support Coordinator, which I actually find a bit outdated due to the evolving circumstances and the needs of the critical force company. Most recently, I've been mainly the lead of the player support and managing the tournament organizer program. What comes to the education, latest one is the Bachelor of Business Administration in Esport Business. That is a 4.5 year international study program which has a focus on esports. And as an advice, I would recommend studying in Kaine University of Applied Sciences. It's also known as CAMK, which is the shortens, and it has plenty of game industry related study opportunities, and it's one of the best schools in Finland. Also, education in Finland is by default high quality. And besides that, CAMK is also one of the smallest schools as well, and it's quite north in Finland. It's actually over 500 kilometers away from the capital city Helsinki, which takes approximately 6 to 7 hours, depending if you're driving or taking a train.
Wow.
I actually did travel that way quite many times, but you get used to that. The distance wasn't that big of an issue for me, but for some people it might be. And I don't know. In the end, I find investing 3.5 years in your life for the future quite a fair deal. But yeah, I didn't always study like esports or gaming related stuff. Before that, I worked a few years in the Finnish border at Helsinki-Vantaa Airport, which is an international airport in the capital, and that had a separate education in the field. Besides that, I'm also a high school graduate, so I guess the bottom line is that try find something that interests you and invest your focus on that. And it's okay to try different things and learn about yourself on the way. Nobody's born ready, at least not me. And connections and new skills rarely go to waste, so it's the opposite. So everything you learn on your on the path is one way or another handy.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Okay, awesome. That's a big answer to a small question, but all right, thank you. Well, the next question I'm really interested in is how did you came across Critical Force? What was your first impression on like how they work, how they were doing as a company, and also what was it like back then working for Critical Ops? Like, what was the state of the game?
Okay, actually, I came across with CF while I was studying Kajani because also the office there, and by now my employment has lasted over 5 years and still remains the best company I ever worked for. However, nothing is perfect. I've worked pretty many companies in the past, and all of them have their own sides. But it's not just about the company, but also the people you work with, and everyone and everything has their challenges. And that's how it is. And looking back, it's been quite a roller coaster with up and down hills. And I think that lately there's been many great updates with the flagship game Critical Ops, and I would like to see delivering impactful results in long term. But yeah, that seems to be quite a challenge, and not just for CF. Many companies seems to be struggling during the past years with layoffs and shutting offices and stuff like that. So it's challenging times. And in general, I think that game development is quite expensive field, more than people can imagine. And at the same time, what seems to be typical is that the generation gamers expect that anything should be free or like many games are free to play, so it's kind of molding or like changing the expectations.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, the updates are quite good recently with like the Incendiary coming out, the new event game modes. It's really going upwards, I can see. The next question I have for you is like, what are your comments or like your opinion about your position so far you took and undertaken in the company?
Um, yeah, I'm not sure if there's much to say. Work life teaches more than studies, but studying is important as well. It provides the foundation and connections. I also did discover many connections during the studies, and I've had a huge honor working with great people, and I'm grateful for that. Also, I've also always had notable passion for my work, and I, I for sure delivered more than I was initially asked for, and that applies to many people I met in the industry. And I think there's a rumor saying that this industry takes advantage of the people of passion, but in the end, you um, can do what you're passionate about. So that's already a win. So maybe it has some hint of truth, but it's a great industry.
True, true, true. And all the people you helped as well. You were always the one who was answering my in-game support. Wanted to report anything or others. It was always you who helped me out. It was really nice. Do you think that like changes, updates, developers, or maybe partnerships positively or negatively change the fate of the game for you?
That is a quite question, but I try to keep it simple. So basically, everything makes a difference for sure, but some things just have a greater impact. So there's that. I don't think I want to open that any wider, because that would be endless.
No problem, no problem. How do you think about like the effects of personal change and critical force over the time on the game?
I think it kind of applies to every company. People come and go, regardless the company or industry. Uh, People and companies just have to adapt with that, because that is subject to change all the time. And adaptation is required with everything in life in general as well. So that kind of, I don't know, teaches, so to say. But yeah, the answer to the question might sound a bit political, that some changes have greater effect, but that determines the need of the adaptation. So
Okay.
it's kind of situational.
I can see, I can see. Yeah, but that's true. People come and people go, and I can see new people come join the developer team. You can always need a helping hand or anybody else who helps with everything, right?
Yeah, true.
Then like I've seen Critical Force making multiple games. But what is Critical Force meaning? What is Critical Ops meaning to them? To Critical Force?
Well, as far as I know, Critical Ops has always been the flagship game of the company, and it still is. And well, that makes it simply the highest priority. So despite there would be or is other games, Critical Ops has a huge meaning to the company.
Okay, it's nice that they have an head priority for Critical Ops. But what is the importance of the game for you, if I may ask that?
Well, ever since I started in the company, I would say that Critical Ops has kind of gained a place in my heart, and doesn't feel like just a game, because I've spent over 5 years in the community, so it's by now like part of my life. Even streamed and made Critical Ops content of my own on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. So I feel like I've invested more than just for working for the game.
True, true, true. I've seen your videos. Pretty nice though.
Thanks.
Now the other question is, what is the current state of esports? Because you are very big responsibility. You have a very big responsibility now for the esports community. And what is the impact over the years of monotony and on the competitive scene?
Um, to be honest, personally, I feel there's some false assumptions, uh, or maybe I'm just how to say it's my way to read the question. Anyways, esports in general requires plenty of resources and team effort, so it's not solely anyone's responsibility alone. Everybody are doing their part. In a wider perspective, currently esports in Finland is kind of in children's shoes. So what it means is it's usually unprofitable. So that's creating challenges for sure, at least in Finland. What else? And despite there's notable amount of effort being covered by voluntary work, because it's kind of a niche area, and I've also done plenty of voluntary in the past because that's how you usually get into esports. And also, when it comes to budget, those are often consumed by the prize pools because, well, those have to be notable in order to make impact. And for example, in CF situation, we have had collaborations that without it would have been really challenging to deliver the required load of esports. And special mention to mobile esports and Compact Esports. They have been highly impactful. And the other part of the question, referring to monotony, I find that I disagree, but yeah, it's a matter of perspective. I think it might display some expectations which are not that realistic, or perhaps not all the achievements in the past are remembered. But yeah, from my point of view, a small company delivering, for example, 3 World Championship tournaments is already a miracle. Besides the other tournaments we have arranged or have supported every year since the launch of Critical Ops Esports. So from my perspective, I think we have achieved a lot during these past years with the esports.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I'm like always. I know how you guys take a small break around December, January, February, just after Worlds. But every time I'm always waiting like for the roadmap to come out to see like the new tournaments on the calendar for the rest of the year. I'm always hyped for that. Now, after Critical Force parted ways with the Compact Esports, what is like the impact of the new partners they're trying to work with on the in the competitive scene?
Yeah, that's actually quite a long time ago. I think it's around 2 years. So it's actually kind of hard for me to remember why the details. So probably I'm not the best person to answer this one, but what I recall, the parting ways happened in peaceful circumstances, as far as I know, and I think that was partially possibly related to budget matters as well. But if someone really wants to uh, uh, find more details, I would suggest turning to Wadi or like Q regarding this topic. But in the other hand, it's already been 2 years, so not sure if I would suggest bothering them with this. But yeah, I like also recall that maybe there was some there was some changes with the management with Compact Esports. I think they might have some internet challenges during that time, but I don't think it had anything to do with the end of the collaboration. So those were like separate things.
Okay. Well, that's a nice answer, even though it's been 2 years, so
Yeah.
it's a vague memory, but it's okay. Do you have any future plans regarding your career in esports or in your life, maybe?
Yeah. Well, some of you already might have heard that I've been currently laid off for undefined period of time. So I'm trying to find new opportunities that would be ideal. But I'm how to say I'm still following what's happening in Critical Force and with Critical Ops. So I'm not like fully gone. Um, but yeah, to support my personal goals, I've spent my time improving my skills. For example, taking online courses. I'm currently actually doing a video editing course to gain a certificate. And tip with that, I would recommend checking out Udemy. It has plenty of high quality educational materials with affordable prices.
Nice. Okay, I'll definitely check it out. Now, I had to ask, but what is your opinion, or what do you think about Elite Network?
Well, remember back, personally, I used to work quite frequently with Elite Network. That was mainly handling prize pool related matters, and I recall that collaboration was active and smooth. So
Nice. That's good to hear. Well, thanks for all these questions. Is there anything you would like to add or say anything else to like the community or the people watching out there?
simply just, I hope that my answers satisfy, and thanks for having me. It's a huge honor.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely no problem. Well, I hope those answers could clear up some minds and help people with the questions they had. And we'll see these questions or more questions of these in future's videos. Everybody make sure to subscribe. Thank you, Tappi, for your time and having this chat with me. It's pretty nice. Thank you for being here, and I will definitely see you in the upcoming videos. Bye bye.
Bye.